Hey everyone, Tony Winston here, Jazz Piano College, doing the song We'll Be Together Again. Let me make sure my microphone's on. Yes, it is. Okay, great. Happy New Year, everyone. 2023, January 1st. I hit 80,000 subscribers today, so maybe that's a good sign that I'm going to hit 100,000 this year. I certainly hope so. So if you haven't subscribed already, thanks. All right, the song is We'll Be Together Again by Carl Fisher and Frankie Laine. And what I'm going to cover on this video is, just understanding the chord symbols and, playing probably a lot of open voicings, all right? And I'm going to explain things as I go. So here we go. G13. I'm sure that chord intimidates people, G13, but it's a G7, all right? This is what is meant by G13, G7. Of course, that means G dominant seventh because it doesn't say major or minor there, just G13. Now, what's the 13? It's the same as a sixth, all right? 13 is the same as 6, 11 is the same as 4, and 9 is the same as 2. This makes it a little easier to find those notes. So I play a G7th, all right? And lots of dominant chords, especially in jazz tunes, do not need the 5th. And the 13 is like the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. So that's all I really need for there. I could add a 9. I could add a flat 9. All right. You can add a sharp 11 if you want to get really rich, but probably at the beginning of the song, we'll keep it simple. Now, if it said G major 13, we could make it like that. If it said G minor 13, we could make it like this. But when it's just G13, that means G7, which of course is a dominant chord, and then on to C6. Closed voicing, but extra root down here. Also going to talk about how to improvise on this song. Right here, there's a complicated scale called the Lydian dominant, where you have a Lydian note and the flat 7, which makes it dominant. But look, in that scale is part of the blues scale. And, rather than think scales all the time, it's good to just think melody. And of course, blues gives you some great melodies. All right, just threw a little in there. D minor, what does it say to add there? It says add the 11th, but the melody note's the 11th, so D minor 7th is enough. They could have just written D minor 11th. Because anytime you have a number greater than 7, like if it's 9, 11, or 13, assume that it's a 7th, and then add that other stuff if you want to. You could do a little kind of diminished stuff there. Or another thing you could do here is, so I'm doing the Stairway to Heaven, but A minor, and here I did A minor with a major 7th, and then down like that. And you can keep the A in if you want to, but you don't really need it after you already played it here. Now, once again, there's a D9, so that means a D7. I put the 9 in, and the melody takes care of the sharp 11. And just think of that as the sharp 4. Remember, 11 is the same as a 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, up from D, sharp it, there you go. B flat minor 7th, and the melody note's the 9. Here we've got an E flat dominant 7th, and it has the 5th in it because that's the melody note. So you can't really add like the sharp 5, or you should really call it the flat 13. You could add a 13, you could add a 9, you could add a flat 9, and I think we'll add the flat 9. And A flat major 7th. Maybe adding the 9. D flat D minor 7, flat 5. And anytime there's a flat 5, you really should include it. Though in many chords you can leave out 5s, but if it's a flat 5, you got to put it in. All right, because it changes the sound of the chord. You know, if I played D minor like this, or if I left out the 5, you see, it doesn't really add much to the chord. But if it's D minor 7 flat 5, big difference, all right? And the melody note, once again, is that flat 5, so I don't need it down there. I could just do maybe this. And here's A flat 7th. I'll put the 7th there. I need a 3rd. There's my melody note, which is the 9. And let's add a 13. All right, G9 sus. Okay, good way to get a sus chord. You play your bass note, think down a step to an F and play a triad. Any inversion. Let's add the melody note. There's our F chord right there in the middle. And one thing nice that you can do with a sus chord is flat the 9. Now, it doesn't say to do that here, but might be nice. And then here's our G13 again. That D flat is a reharmonization. Okay, you know, I'm so low in the bass, I don't even want to put a 7th in. I could, but it's getting a little low, so I'll just do everything with my right hand. All right. There's G13 again, and notice I've got the same chord, just with the G on top this time. Now, you've got some things you could reharmonize here. You could go, put the 9 in on that one, and then a flat 9. Next melody note, and then down to C again. A flat 7th. Now it says A flat 9, but the main thing is that it's an A flat 7th. That's really all you need. The 9 kind of suggests that maybe you could add a B flat there, or it may suggest that you don't want to add a flat 9. Or it may just be referring to this melody note that's coming up. I'm not really sure. But A flat 7th, let's add a 13, all right? 6 notes up from the root, along the scale, that is. You know, you can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can't, like, make up your own scale. You've got to use the A flat major scale. 4, 5, 6. That makes it a 13. Why? Because I already have a 7th. And here's a true altered chord. And, you know, I got to tell this little story. You know, this guy I studied jazz with taught me really the true meaning of all these chords. And he just sent me an email saying, you know, you're calling it the sharp 5 when it's really the flat 13 or something to that effect. But, you know, here it is in the book. And it says sharp 5. That might be easy to think of. Then the 13 and flatting it, I don't know. But a sharp 5 is like an augmented chord, and it suggests the whole tone scale. But with the sharp 9 in there, yeah, that's not in the whole tone scale. So now, how exactly to play this chord? Oh, well, it's up here. So this sharp 9 is up there. So again, I have my root, my 7th, my 3rd, the melody note, which is the sharp 9. And, you know, here's the 13, here's the 5, here's the flat 13 or the sharp 5. And this is a true altered dominant chord, okay? You know, if you have a chord like, say, G13, like this, and the 13 is not altered to a flat 13 or a sharp 5, then it's not an altered dominant. If you put the 9 in, it's not an altered dominant. If you have a flat 9 in here, it seems like it's an altered dominant, but only if you use this note. If you use the regular 13, it's kind of a mixture. It's like that one is altered, but this tension, this 13 is not altered, all right? It's not a flat 13. So let's play the B section. There's our C minor 6. You might recognize this rootless voicing. All right, I'm taking too much time on this. Let me hurry up and finish. All right, here it just says the sharp 5, you know, suggesting the whole tone scale, but they didn't say augmented. They just said sharp 5. So I'm thinking it's still an altered dominant, especially since the melody note is going to the flat 9. A flat 6th, you know, the dominant sounds cool, but then you have, you know, a dissonance that's a little unpleasant there. You could do an A flat major 7th with the 6th up there, and now you have to call it a 13. So it would be A flat major 13 is how the chord would be written. But A flat 6, we realize that's a major chord. So let's do that one. There it's kind of a major 7th, but in G 7th, we could alter it, or this way, or we could do it unaltered. In G flat 13, let's get the 7th first. Root, 7, 3rd, melody note is the 13, yay. Now just slide everything down, F 7th, and let's use the D minor here. Again, it's so low, I'll play the root down here. And A flat 13, let's get the 7 first. And the 3rd, melody note again is the 13. All right, I did that flat 9 there, but let's just do the F chord over a G and then put in the D. That's just the fast way of getting it. Now you can do it the slow way. You can do root, 7th, 9, 3rd, have to suspend it. That means move it up a half step. Melody note. Get the same thing. There's a G13. Okay, and then the end is just like the beginning. A little bit about improv. I'll probably use some rootless voicings here. All right, so I don't know, whenever you're like in a particular key, you go down just before you get to the 5th, to a dominant chord. There's a lot of songs, that have that chord progression, so just be aware of that. One song would be a song from my father. It's an F minor. At one point it goes down to D flat 7th. So, just use the F blues scale. All right, so here we go. Get to A minor here. Okay, it's the 6th chord, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roman numeral 6. What do you play? Do you play the natural minor there? Or do you play Dorian mode and put in that F sharp, which is a little foreign to the key right now? My best advice is to avoid F and F sharp. All right, I realize this is a cop-out, but it kind of works. A blues scale would be good too. And save the F sharp for when you get to the D7th. See, I'm avoiding the F and the F sharp. So, a pentatonic scale, all right, that would work. A 6-note scale like this, all right, so avoiding the F. Those are good scales to take it into high gear on. All right, now, a real change of key here. Think A flat. Come on, fingers. So I'm not thinking about any scales here except the A flat major scale. There's diminished scale on the E flat chord. Right? But, you don't really need it. Yeah, what do you play on a minor 7 flat 5 chord? First of all, think F minor 6. And then decide how you're going to play up here. You're going to use the 6th, but are you going to use the flat 7 or the major 7th? All right, now I'm talking in terms of F minor 6 here, which is the same chord. All right, so what do I want to use? E flat or E, or both? The E is a nice jazzy sound and everything, but there's the E flat is effective too, and if you're just thinking melody, all right, so constructing a line here, thinking mostly about F minor first. And using the blues scale right there on the A flat. All right, and then going into G, I'm just going to do a lot of white keys. And that's just vocabulary. All right? You want to practice stuff like that probably in every key. That kind of thing. All right, so, when you're improvising, the A flat 13 would be a nice one to use. I'm just using the 3-note version of a rootless voicing. I call these shape voicings now. Ted calls them box voicings still, but nobody seems to know what the hell I'm talking about when I say box voicing. So it's just a shape. It's a shape that can be used for A flat dominant, D flat dominant, altered, A flat unaltered, F minor, no, not F minor, E flat minor 6th. So it's just a shape. And the nice thing is I'm going to use just 3 notes of it. I'm going to go down to G. So I got A flat 13. It just says G7, so that's cool for that. G13, then G flat 13. So when improvising, you could pick a little motif like that and just transpose it as you go. I like using these 1-4-5 shapes like this on these kind of chords too. To work. G sus, you could play it like a rootless D minor or even just a D minor chord, right? Because there's that F triad. It's also in this one, so you can use it. All right, let's play this whole bridge one more time, then we're going to wrap it up. don't know where I went on that. All right, that's it. Sheet music is in the description. Have fun with this song. It's a beautiful song. Not that many people know it, but it's a great song and used to be a real standard. So enjoy it.